You're about to listen to Kelly Martin Speaks. I'm your host Kelly, and the author of When Everyone Shines But You, a mental health and self-acceptance blogger and a recovering darkness addict. I have experienced intense anxiety, deep depression and life trauma, but I'm coming out of the other side now. Darkness was a comfort zone for me for a long time, and it felt safer than the light. So in this podcast I share with you my journey into the light and how I move through challenge in an empowering way. I'll share with you tools and nurturing ways to embrace your humanity. I was once a shy, scared introvert, afraid to speak, but that's all changing. Let's take this journey together and learn to fly. Hi there, welcome back to Kelly Martin Speaks. I'm your host Kelly Martin and this is episode 62. Now I was on my walk this morning and I thought, I want to do a podcast today but I'm not sure what it's all about. And I remembered something that I've recently written and what I've done is I've actually printed it out and I've placed it in many different areas in my home. And this is what I wrote to remind me of what I need to know and why it's important to not live in the future. Right now, your life is waiting for you. What you want in the future hasn't happened. But what you have here is great. Embrace what you have now. Appreciate what is in your life, from your friendships, to the love, to the abundance, to the music you listen to the blossoms in your garden, to the freedom. You have a lot to appreciate here now. The rest will take care of itself. Your job is just to appreciate what you have here now. And it might sound a really simple thing to read and write. And it's not easy, is it? It's one of those really hard things in life to not think about the future. And in preparation for this podcast, I just opened a book that I recently bought from a charity shop. And I opened it on the section, Don't Live in the Future, which I had to laugh at because that's exactly what I wanted to speak about today. And in this book by Richard Templer, he has a very similar way of thinking about this. Now, what he says is, the future is where I'm going to be successful, happy, rich, beautiful, famous, in love, in work, out of this crap relationship, out on the town, surrounded by friends, surrounded by the finest wines money can buy. Yep, those might be plans or dreams or whatever. But again, this here and now is where it is actually at. This is the moment you've been waiting for all your life. This is the moment you must appreciate without all those other things you long for. Look, longing really is the sweetest thing. Having those dreams is brilliant. Don't let anyone ever tell you dreaming is a bad thing. But appreciate that it is the you right now that is doing the dreaming. Enjoy the wishing and the longing. Enjoy being alive and having the strength and vitality to do all that dreaming. Living in the moment doesn't mean throwing away all your responsibilities and cares. It doesn't mean taking off and being a total pleasure seeker. It doesn't mean sitting cross-legged and breathing deeply. Although all and any of these things is fine, if you want. It just means taking a moment or two every now and then to appreciate being alive. And to aim to act like today matters and live life to the full, right here, right now. We can't project all our future happiness onto the future. Oh, if only I were richer, younger, healthier, happier, more in love, less in this relationship, had a better job, had nicer children, had a better car, were slimmer, taller, fitter, had more hair, better teeth, more clothes. The list is just endless. If only this or that was changed, everything would be perfect, wouldn't it? Unfortunately not. It just doesn't work like that. When this and that gets changed, there will always be something else, waiting its turn and putting off that happiness until some later date. If you were to suddenly find that you were slimmer, fitter, or whatever, then you'd probably find yourself wanting to be richer, or that your partner was more loving. You'd find other things to wish for to make you happy. Forget bigger and better and richer and thinner. The key is to appreciate that we've got right now, what we've got right now, and yet still dream and plan. That way we'll be a little happier now than if we're constantly looking to the future where happiness apparently lies. And don't think it's all right for me, it's not. I too need to lose a few pounds, certainly get fitter, get more stuff, and how we all love stuff. But I also value the way I am and appreciate what I've got right now because, and this is the secret, it is real. The me that is now is the real me. The future one isn't yet born and may not happen. You mean I might not lose that extra weight or get fitter? Yep, right. And the stuff I have now is at least real, tangible, solid. Dreams are great, but reality is fine too. Now, that chapter really spoke to me on exactly how I am in life, and I do my best to be in the moment, but sometimes I fail at it dramatically. It can be really tough to actually not dream further, look into the future, because we're looking at our lives and we might be thinking, I really don't like this. I wish I had more money. I feel really lonely. I feel really sick. My body is really not healthy. And we can have goals and plans to change this or dream about this, but it's when we become kind of addicted and heavily attached to what we think we want in the future. And what do we think we want in the future? What do we think is going to be there that's not here now? And I started to think about the other day, because I've made a list of things that I would like in my life, and I want to be able to still dream without fearing that I'm getting attached, or get to the point where I've stopped dreaming and I'm becoming hopeless. And I asked myself, what is it in all of these things that I want? What is the essence of these future things that I think this future is going to be better? And I wrote my list, and on the other side, it was a column, and by every single thing that I wanted, I wrote what the feeling was. And apart from a bit of joy, self-care, abundance, most of them were freedom. It was the freedom of choice, the freedom to do what I wanted, the freedom to live where I wanted, the freedom to feel so many things. And then I sat and I thought, but I have this freedom, really. I mean, I may not have the freedom to choose to live in the countryside right now. I may not have the freedom to buy whatever I want. I may not have certain freedoms that I would like. But the whole essence of freedom I've got the freedom to make up my mind how I see my reality. I've got the freedom to look at my life and see the beauty that is here now. I've got quite a healthy body. I've got the freedom to move and to exercise and to enjoy the body. I've got the freedom of time because I let go of the station, so I have more time on my hands, and my ego will sort of try and want more from that. It wants to be busy. It wants to be achieving more. It wants to look like I'm doing a lot in my life. And because of this, that causes a longing, that causes a suffering. But what I am becoming aware of is that I'm seeking this freedom of this new home in the countryside, this freedom of going on more holidays, this freedom of choice. And I have probably a lot more freedom than a lot of people. So I have this freedom here now. What I'm doing now is enough. Who I am is enough. And the same with you. If you're yearning for better health, what is the essence of wanting better health? If you're wanting more money, what is the essence of that, the core of that? You're wanting a relationship with someone. What is the essence of that? What do you need from that? And have you got this right now? If you really look at yourself and your life, is it possible that you have the essence of that? Now, this doesn't mean you stop dreaming. This just simply means that you allow yourself your moments to focus on the essence of what you want, which is already here, but not to get that thing in the future. That future thing may or may not happen. But if it depends on that future thing happening, your happiness is dependent on that. This is where we suffer and this is where we struggle. So this is quite a little short podcast for today, because it was more because I really needed to consider this further and to understand where I am coming from. And I'm hoping that if you're addicted to the future and yearning and desperate for change, that you're able to switch your mind around to start focusing on how everything right now is what you need. Because if you didn't need it, you wouldn't have it. If you needed more money, if you needed a relationship, you would have these things. So that's all for now. A little short talk for today. A little conversation with you. And I hope you have a great week. Until next time, bye for now. You've been listening to my podcast, Kelly Martin Speaks. I'd really appreciate your feedback. If you're listening on iTunes, please give me a review. It helps me be seen and heard by those that need it. You can also follow me on kellymartinspeaks.co.uk, where you can read my blogs, find out about my book series, and subscribe to my monthly newsletter. I'm also all over social media, so search for me via Kelly Martin Speaks on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. I'll speak to you next week. Bye.